All right, so Game 7. Game 7, Rangers and Canes. We've pretty much figured this one for 7 games the entire series. Shesterkin versus Raanta. Now, Raanta has played well, but I don't know about trusting him in a Game 7. It wasn't exactly spectacular Game 6. Rangers, both of these teams, they have experience in the sense that, obviously, Rangers have the coach, right? Okay? Carolina's been there a few years in a row. Carolina's at home. You know that crowd is absolutely going to be rocking. So the biggest thing for the Rangers is that first 5 or 10 minutes. If they can survive the onslaught, that Carolina has to come out. In fact, to me, that's the key to the game. Carolina comes out and they are just massively energetic and revved up by the crowd and ready to go, and Raanta looks good, it's going to be good for the Canes. If it's not so good, right, or if the Rangers look like things could be at least even, as the game goes on, it does wear on you when Shesterkin's making save after save after save. So those first 10 minutes are going to be huge. Other than that, man, let's see if Frankie gets it going. Trocheck hasn't really been doing too much. The ex-Panthers in the series just haven't been all that super active. And as you guys know, Tampa Bay sitting at home waiting for these guys. Stu and I, we're both rooting for the Rangers tonight because we want to root for different teams during the Eastern Conference Finals. It'll make the reviews fun. Because originally Stu was a Ranger fan because that was his team when he was a kid. And I have at least 25% of the channel subscribers and Patreon supporters, etc., are Tampa Bay Lightning fans. So as a thank you to you guys, I'm going to be rooting for Tampa Bay in the Eastern Conference Finals. So it'll be fun if the Rangers win tonight, and Stu and I can actually spend a few games rooting for a different team. Might be interesting. So, all right, Game 7 is always fun, man. I got a big ribeye waiting. Let's do this. I wouldn't want to be a Carolina fan right now. It's 2-0 Rangers, and it don't look good. Number one, power play for the Rangers is just absolutely lit fire. Both goals. Fox with a beautiful shot to beat Raanta, and then Kreider with a deflection from Zibanejad, and it's 2-0. And Ranta's made a few decent saves, a few nice saves, or it could be worse. It could be worse. And Shesterkin looks locked in. But it's just one period of play. I could be coming back in a few minutes talking about a tie game after the second period. Canes are not just going to lay down. The crowd, even at 2-0, the crowd is obnoxiously loud, trying to get their team going. That first 10 minutes I talked about, it was 2-0 Rangers. Carolina came out. They looked ready-ish. Shesterkin made a really good save. I forget who it was that he made the save on. And then the Rangers just taking it to them. Everybody's had a couple power plays. I'm curious about your guys' opinion here. Now, I know rules are rules, right? If there's 6 guys on the ice, there's 6 guys on the ice. So I get it. But Jarvis gets hurt. He's literally on his hands and knees crawling to the bench. And an extra player jumps onto the ice for Carolina, and the refs call too many men on the ice. Now I'm just curious if you guys think the refs could have let that go, if it was a little bit wishy-washy, ticky-tacky for a Game 7 with a guy crawling off the ice, or maybe they just blow the whistle because the guy is on his hands and knees crawling to the bench. Curious what you guys think about that. I'm hoping New York wins, but to me, either blow the whistle or don't call it, because it's not a typical, extra man on the ice type of situation. So, curious what you guys think. Let's move on to the second period. All right, so it's 3-0 Rangers, and right now, if I'm the Tampa Bay Lightning, my concern is Vasilevsky. Now, why is that? Well, they just talked about on the broadcast, the Rangers, they have a habit here. they end up playing Louis Domingue for what, 5 games in that series, 4 or 5 games in that series, who hadn't played at all. And now they've dismissed Ranta, who looked like that hurt me. He stretched out that leg and it kind of bounced off the ground, and that just hurt me. As a man, you know what he did. He's hurting. So now they've got this poor kid in whose name I'm going to butcher, but I'm going to try it. Kochetkov? I might have got it right. Jeez. I think it's something like that. So this poor kid's got to come in and immediately, well, not immediately, he makes a really nice save. It's interesting. The first shot he sees, he makes a really nice save, and Carolina comes down the ice and they had a 2-on-1, and you're thinking, if that puck goes in, this building's going to explode. And Shesterkin makes a hell of a save, and then puck comes back down the other way, and boom, bada boom, it's in the back of the net, and it's 3-0, and barring some kind of spectacular, ridiculous miracle, Rangers are winning this series, which is interesting because I had a couple people tell me in the comments after Game 5 that I was making bad predictions, saying that I thought the Rangers were getting close and could win Game 7. Must be a new subscriber, but that's okay. Must be somebody new who hasn't watched me predict things accurately. I don't know what, 80%? Is it 80%? Would you guys give me 80%? You guys that have been with the channel long enough, when I say something like that, you tell me. Anyway, it's going to be a long-term period. It's going to be a long-term period if you're a Carolina fan. That is rough, man. You're at home, and it's Game 7, and you want to get back to playing Tampa, Eastern Conference Finals, and this is not happening. It's not happening tonight. And Rangers, I was texting with Stu. These Rangers remind me of a Florida Panther team that used to have the same coach. Just tenacious, tough to play against. They've got the goaltending. Another team the Panthers might have a trouble beating to get out of the Eastern Conference. So let's finish this game off. Well, that'll do it. Rangers 6-2. That is tough at home. Canes fans, that is tough. They're showing kids crying in the stands. Some poor little kid couldn't have been but maybe 12 years old crying in his dad's shoulder. Jeez, that's rough. That's rough. You guys are one of the harder teams to play against. You know, Carolina's just ridiculously tough. The fans are loud, no matter what the circumstances are. Even at like 4-0, the crowd was still just loud and going at it and just trying desperately to get their team going. Rangers just not just too much for them, but look, Carolina did not look like they had their game completely on tonight. I don't know if, I mean, they were up 2-0 in the series. They were up 3-2. And then the next thing you know, the stick's getting a little tighter. And as soon as the Rangers made it 2-0 tonight, Carolina just didn't look like they looked like they looked. They weren't ready to come back, and they didn't. I don't think they expected to get behind 2-0 like that. I think they figured they'd come out, get the first goal, and roll from there. And when they were faced with that adversity, they didn't have it. They didn't have any bounce back. And then when you lose, I mean, this poor kid, Reinter's already your backup. Now you're down to your third string rookie goaltender in a Game 7. That's rough. That was just rough all the way around. So congratulations to the Rangers, and they talked about it on the broadcast. So 1 month before Gallant got fired, that's when I started this channel. It just so happens to be they reminded me of, it was after a game in Carolina, so he left that building and took the cab. And instead tonight he's going to leave that building and take the plane on his way to play the Lightning, who swept the Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals, or you know what I'm trying to... Yeah, he's playing Tampa in the Eastern Conference Finals, who swept the Panthers. There's no irony there. There's no irony there. And to make the irony worse, to make it a little bit more confusing for everybody, yes, I've been making Panther videos for 6 years. Somehow, however, like 25% of my fan base, my followers, the Patreon supporters, the YouTube members, are Tampa Bay Lightning fans. So, if it's not going to be confusing enough for you, I actually am going to do the Eastern Conference Finals, for me, from a pro-Tampa point of view. That it's going to be very, very strange. But I have to do it as a thank you, because there's been a lot of Tampa fans who've given me a lot of support, including money every month in the Patreon and the YouTube membership. So that's how I say thank you. And you know, Tampa earned my respect in that last series. I'm not a fan. I will never be a fan. But in terms of respecting what they can do on the ice, you can't deny it. Now, Stu, we'll be rooting for the Rangers. So the reviews are going to be fun. Now, tomorrow morning we're going to do a review of this game and a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, all in the same video. We're going to do that. So, Carolina, man, I feel for you. You know, I have a friend, Richard, who's been a long-time follower of the channel, and he usually tags me and stuff on Twitter and everything for the Panther stuff, and I feel bad for him because they've been getting close, and now this is obviously not as close as they've been getting. But it just goes to show you, you know, there's this whole thing about experience is what's going to teach your team how to win in the playoffs. You have to lose to learn how to win. Sometimes that's true, but sometimes teams just don't win. Sometimes teams have a really good run, but can't quite get over that hump. And, you know, Carolina could be that team right now. I know they won a few years, but that's been a few years ago. I mean, a run is any time in the last, what, 10 years, right? You know, a 5-10 year run. So, you know, it's not always about knowing how to win. Sometimes you got to have some luck. And when you lose your starting goaltender and then you lose your backup goaltender, there's no luck there. It just wasn't going to happen for Carolina. So, Eastern Conference Finals, Rangers, Tampa. Can we just, we're going to play the series, but can we just get to the part where we're in double overtime at Game 7 and it's 0-0? Because that's what's coming. Okay? Shesterkin versus Vasilevsky. That's where we're headed. Okay? There's going to be 3 games in this series that go to overtime. At least 2 that go to double overtime, including Game 7. I'm calling it now. That's where we're headed. Or Tampa could sweep them. One of the two. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I play with puppets in my basement. Alright. I appreciate all the support. We are down to 2. Well, we got these 2 series, and then we're down to the finals. Now, the rest of the way, Eastern Conference, Western Conference finals start tomorrow, and Stanley Cup finals. The rest of the games, live stream. Pre-game live stream starts 1 hour before the game. So I'll be live streaming for an hour before the game. I don't live stream live commentary during the game. I know my buddy Twisted Wrister Hockey has been doing that some. I don't know what his schedule is going to be. I'm actually going to be collaborating with him tomorrow in the Eastern Conference Final preview as well. So I'll ask him if he's live streaming the entire games. That's where you go. He's really good. Actually, he does like a real genuine play-by-play. It's not like he's just sitting there, you know, he's having fun and everything, but I mean, he does, when he puts his mind to it, he does a real high-quality play-by-play. So if he's doing that, that's the place to watch it if you want to watch the full games be streamed. So I bugged him. I said I'm gonna join him one of these times as the color guy. All right. We're in for it now. Shesterkin versus Vasilevsky. There may not be any goals scored until like the 3rd game of this season, man. What a series that's going to be.